Welcome to A Word with the Girls. I'm Molly. I'm joined by my sisters, Emily and Abby. Make sure to go follow us on Instagram at A Word with the Girls. And if you haven't subscribed to our podcast on Spotify, go and click that follow button so you don't miss an episode. We would love to hear from you. If you have a question or even a word you'd like to have us discuss, make sure you comment on our Spotify or our Instagram, and your word might be featured in a future episode. So before we dive into our word for today, let's catch up. It's Thanksgiving week. How's everyone doing? What are we up to?
Well, you guys are together, so that's fun.
I know, a little swap action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell us about your epic trip here.
Yes. So I have the week off from school, and so our parents were already planning to come out here this week, and they decided to drive. And what's happening? What's going on? I don't know.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Oh, sorry. My internet. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. Oh, my gosh.
What did you say?
My internet went out and you were like beatboxing.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Oh gosh. I'm trying.
Yeah. So I have the week off of school, and my parents were coming out to see you guys this week anyways, and they decided to drive because it's so expensive. And so I just decided to join them. So we left Friday, got to Denver Friday night, and then on Saturday drove up through Nebraska and saw some family members, and got to spend the night with them. And then yesterday was our long day of driving from Nebraska to St. Louis. So it's been a lot of driving, but it's been okay. It's definitely interesting to be road tripping with the parents by myself. But it's been good. We've been stopping for some fun food and listening to true crime podcasts, and it's been good. And it's good to be here. So it's been a while since I've been in Missouri.
That's true. Like how many years?
At least 7, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the first time anybody in the family has seen our new house, so that's kind of fun. So
It's nice.
That is
It's
fun.
very nice. Mm-hmm.
it's going well. So today we, anytime we're together, we're always like cooking or baking. And so today we made the infamous cabbage burgers, homemade dough and all, and it was
Ooh,
delicious.
yum.
So that was super fun to do that. So Abby, what's going on?
Yeah, it's just us this week. Unfortunately, sickness has made its way through our household. 'Tis the season. And so we're kind of on the other end of it, which is good. But thankfully this week it's just us anyway. So we don't have to worry about hosting people. And yeah, so Alex has he had today off through Thursday. So we started decorating for Christmas today, and that's fun. Turned on Christmas music. And then for Thursday, we'll just do the traditional meal. It'll be great.
So what is the rule when it comes to when is it appropriate to play Christmas music and decorate?
I am a pre-Thanksgiving Christmas person. So,
Yeah, I think it depends. I haven't really listened to Christmas music yet this year. Except for the Dominic the Donkey sing along we just did with the kids. But yeah, I think Thanksgiving week is an appropriate time, or whenever you need to, honestly. Whatever makes you feel joyful.
Well, I did see on Facebook someone posted an article saying that putting Christmas things up can actually increase dopamine, which helps make you feel happy. And so I think Christmas is usually a happy season. I mean, I think for some, any holiday is really hard. And I think acknowledging that, 'cause, you know, hard things happen in people's lives. So, but yeah, we'll put up Christmas stuff after Thanksgiving. I like fall decorations for
Mhm.
Thanksgiving. So it feels a little wrong to like leapfrog it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That makes sense.
But in light of the holiday season, we figured we do a fun holiday special on
Thanksgiving. Yeah, we figured, well, we did a Halloween episode. We probably should do a Thanksgiving episode.
for sure.
So
Thanksgiving. Obviously, when I think of Thanksgiving, I think of food automatically.
mhm.
So we should talk about food. So
Yes.
favorite Thanksgiving food.
Stuffing for sure.
Mm,
Yep. And I'm good with just Stofers. Like that's good stuff.
that is
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love stuffing with gravy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yum.
I really like mashed potatoes and also the sweet potatoes with marshmallows, obviously, because I'm obsessed with marshmallows. But yeah, the potato family, that's what I like. Mashed and sweet.
Which will be really interesting because we just got a sweet potato pie, which I've never had before.
Hmm.
It's different than pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Huh.
But yeah, Abby, I'm with you. I love stuffing, but I also love green bean casserole, which is really odd because I hate mushrooms, and the kind I make, on the French onion box is with cream of mushroom soup, but I do love green bean
so
casserole.
like
good.
that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So what is the thing that you're like, I'll pass, no thanks? Least favorite food?
Relish tray?
Oh, like the crudité, like with
You
all the
might-
veggies?
Maybe.
That's true. Mom did have that every year.
I guess.
It's because she puts
I mean, I
sweet
like some
pickles
of
on
the
it.
stuff on there.
Oh yeah, is it the sweet pickles?
Yeah, ew.
The bread and butter pickles. Although these days she'd probably put cornichons on there, which those are good.
Mhm.
Gabby's frozen.
Her eyes are frozen, Clark. You're
You
back.
froze with a really funny face. Oh. Anyways. All right. So you don't like the crudité, the veggie platter.
I mean, if I had to choose something, I do love some of the stuff on there, like pickled okra, olives. But I think if I had to pass on something, I'd be like, meh, I don't want that.
We were talking about cranberries today. I just feel like cranberries are, unless it's the jelly kind that is the shape of the can. That's
Kevin-
the only kind I like.
Kevin
Alex loves,
he specifically asked me to buy a can of jellied cranberry
Yes.
sauce, so we will have some.
yeah, Alex too.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the only kind I really like.
it's like jelly
Yeah, it's weird.
smeared on your roll.
I feel like, didn't I make like a cornbread casserole last year that you guys weren't really crazy about?
I think so. I sort of remember it.
It was a new recipe that I'd never tried before that was like, yeah, on Instagram. And so I tried it, but it wasn't very good. What's your least favorite? Did you share?
No, Kevin has this recipe. It's this like corn casserole with like Ritz crackers and like a pound of butter, and he like loves it. And I could pass, so I don't really like that.
Hmm.
And I'm not really a fan of like pecan pie, so I could pass on that too. But
Yeah, I don't like pumpkin pie, which is why we didn't get pumpkin pie for this week.
Oh, sweet potato instead.
yeah,
Which I
so-
think is going to be very similar, but
yeah, I don't know.
whatever.
We also got a strawberry rhubarb pie.
Ooh, yum.
Now the question is can your food touch and mix, or do you like to keep them separate and eat each thing individually.
Oh, I like a good bite is like some sweet potatoes with or some stuffing with mashed potatoes. That's a good bite. Or green beans, mashed potatoes and gravy. That's a good bite. A little bit of turkey and cranberry and gravy. Good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it all together.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Ooh, I think of like a green bean stuffing turkey gravy.
Yum.
Because I think there's some people out there who are like very nothing can touch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Like dip your roll in the gravy with
Yes.
butter on it.
So often when I think about holidays growing up, I think of, well, I think anytime with the Evans family, like something kind of like goes wrong, whether it's like, I don't know, chaos always ensues somehow. And so when you think of like Thanksgiving too, have you ever had like a big fail, whether that's a casserole dish that didn't go well or anything else?
There's probably some childhood Thanksgiving that didn't go super well. Like if we were all sick or something.
I remember in 2017, we had just moved to DC and I had been doing really well with my health for quite some time. And because of like stress or something, I ended up having a relapse for the first time in like 7 years. And we spent Thanksgiving at the ER for me to get steroids to get better. So that was kind of a bit of a bummer.
Oh,
But
wow.
but we made the most of it and found out that you can buy a turkey breast in a bag that you just throw in the oven, and it turned out really great. And we still celebrated Thanksgiving,
Wow.
but yeah, it was kind of a bit of a flop of a year, but we made the most of it. So
Yeah, we were listening to a podcast on planes, trains, and automobiles on the drive here. So that was pretty fun. I mean, that's a pretty epic failure around Thanksgiving. So nothing like that has ever happened. What about you, Abby?
Yeah, I literally can't think of any mishaps or like good stories that happen.
I know that Kevin grew up with these like really yum, like corn type of rolls, I guess. And his mom had given him this recipe, and we didn't have a KitchenAid at the time. And he was like determined to make these rolls. And I was like, yeah, go for it. I don't know how to make them. And so, anyways, he was in the kitchen and he was so mad. This dough was so sticky and it was like all over his fingers. And he was so angry. And he eventually kind of sort of figured it out. But he's like, I'm never making these stupid rolls again. Well, then he talked to his mom, and she, you know how recipes sometimes are like 4 cups of flour. Well, she hadn't written add more flour if dough is super sticky. And so when he talked to his mom afterwards, she was like, oh yeah, I usually add like 5 more cups. And he was like, what? And so anyways, we now have a KitchenAid. I think he's attempted to make the rolls again. His mom's making them this year, but it was just really funny because it was like a total fail. Like dough was just like everywhere and he was not happy. So
that's so funny. Wow.
So I don't know, maybe we're speaking too soon.
That's true, I suppose.
We won't have a Christmas vacation though, because we're having our turkey made by Deerbergs. Thank you, Deerbergs. This is not sponsored.
So gross.
For those of you who can't see and you're just listening, we're just reenacting the moment in Christmas Vacation. If you've not yet seen that movie, go watch it now.
Yeah, when he cuts open the turkey that's been cooking for far too long and it's really dry.
What's the quote?
I knew I put it in too early.
Why are you crying?
or the save the neck for me, Clark.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Molly, I'm curious, when you lived overseas, what was Thanksgiving like?
Yeah, overseas it looked a lot different. One year we had Cobra for Thanksgiving. We went to this restaurant and got to pick out a live cobra to eat. They like pulled it out of this mesh bag and they were like, is this the one you want? And we were like, sure. And then they cut its head off and skinned it and chopped it up and threw it in a frying pan, and then we ate it like a few moments later. So that was my very first Thanksgiving overseas. That was wild. And then after that, we started a tradition where we drove our motorbikes to the ocean and stayed at this cool resort called Ocean Queen. And we like brought all of the food to make traditional Thanksgiving. And we just spent like a day, you know, putting it all together. And then we would sit on this long table and eat Thanksgiving dinner together. And it was quite epic.
That sounds awesome.
Mom and Dad joined my last year there. And I'm not sure they enjoyed it as much as we did. I mean, it's a resort, but it's quite rustic. So no AC. At least I don't think there was AC. But you know, like these like thatch roofs, and there's lizards everywhere and critters everywhere. And yeah, Mom and Dad weren't super impressed. But it was still super, super special. I think those are some of my best Thanksgiving memories for sure, because we were really making the most of it. And yeah, and it was always just like such an adventure. In Thailand, we used to invite a bunch of people over to like the community center or the house. And we would usually have like Thanksgiving food, but then like Nepali food and Thai food and curry and fried chicken, you know, just like all the things. So that was pretty cool. Very epic as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forget. Like I have a couple of friends who are internationals, like they live in other countries, and they were asking me what I was doing. I was like, "Oh, I'm getting ready for Thanksgiving," but that's like only an American thing. You know, they don't celebrate that in like the Netherlands. So sometimes I forget that it's not like this like internationally like recognized thing. So I just wondered, any other memories?
Well, I know for a while we would go to Texas for Thanksgiving, and we would like drive overnight to see our grandparents there. I will say one year Tita made these mashed potatoes that had like cream cheese and sour cream and shredded cheese on top, and I still think about them to this day. They were so good. They were like baked in the, like she made them and then she like baked it to like melt the cheese on top or something. I don't know. I just remember they were life-changing, and that was a good time.
Well, here's the good news. A, we're in charge of mashed potatoes. B, I've got cream cheese, sour cream, and cheddar shredded cheese.
Nice. So we can do it if we want to.
I mean,
now it kind of sounds like a stomach ache waiting to happen, but
true. That does sound good. But when we were telling Mom about like doing a Thanksgiving themed podcast, she was like, "Oh, you need to talk about what you have for breakfast." So what do you have for breakfast on like Thanksgiving morning? And like, you know, sometimes you eat at like 3 or whatever. So do you have anything special planned for this year, Abby?
Not really. Yeah, not really. I had thought about doing like they're not healthy, but little smokies in crescent rolls with like scrambled eggs. It just sounded like a yummy, you know, just a yummy breakfast to have as a family. And then I think we'll probably do actual Thanksgiving, yeah, maybe around 1:30 or 2. That's my guess. The last couple years we had actually spent Thanksgiving up at Arrowhead Lodge. So we didn't have to cook, and it was awesome. But we opted not to do that this year because it's kind of a jaunt up there, and then we wouldn't be able to stay at Mom and Dad's because Alex has to work the next day. So yeah, it's a little different this year having to cook.
But have you ever cooked a turkey?
Yes, I think we have. Was it last year? No, one of the years we just did a turkey breast. Was that last year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was after Thanksgiving, because we did the Thanksgiving at Arrowhead, and then
you cooked.
For some reason, I just decided I wanted to do the whole meal. But yeah, we did the turkey breast. I feel like we have our go-to breakfast that we do every time: cinnamon rolls with brown butter frosting and egg casserole.
Yep. It's really interesting when you're used to only like having 2 people in your house and cooking for 2 people and having enough supplies for 2 people. When you add 3 other adults, like I think Dad's drank all of our coffee in one day. So it's just kind of like a funny thing of like, wow, I need a whole lot more food for this many people. Like you just like have to like calculate much differently. It's really funny. So yes,
Totally.
the
Oh,
coffee
totally.
the coffee will be flowing, the delicious food will be flowing. Lots of conversation. I'm even thinking of having like conversation cards at the dinner table to help like generate some good conversation amongst the guests that are coming, which will be a mixed bag of some of Kevin's family and us. So I thought that would be kind of like a fun way to like hear other traditions of like Kevin's family and their own memories.
Do we have any traditions for Thanksgiving? Not really. I mean, I guess we used to go and see a movie.
I don't think any that are like strictly Evans.
Mm-hmm.
They seem
Right.
pretty,
Yeah, pretty normal.
I mean, who knows though? I mean, normal for us, I guess.
Yeah.
It's true.
I remember growing up, mom would have each of us do kind of a different dish every year.
Right. Like help. Mm-hmm.
So we could, see how that one goes and that one goes. And I can still remember peeling all the potatoes was like the worst job. It just took forever. I just remember that. But I appreciated, yeah, being able to see from start to finish each dish. I can't say that I know them by heart by any means, but it doesn't feel super overwhelming. I think when I was young and I would be in the kitchen helping mom, I could just be like, how do you do this? This is crazy. Where now, as you get older, multitasking just becomes easier,
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't feel quite as overwhelming, but,
Totally.
and also maybe it helps that just having a little bit more knowledge of in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But
think
that's one thing that I remember from childhood Thanksgivings. And maybe that mom would always just set the table really nicely.
Well, and it was like a sit down meal, like we don't watch football
Oh, no,
on
no.
Thanksgiving, and we definitely don't watch it while we're eating,
No.
which I learned other
Mm-mm.
families did that, like when I went to college and spent my first Thanksgiving away.
Hmm.
I remember just, you know, that first time when you were like, oh, not everybody does it the same way.
That's so
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Thanksgiving feels definitely special. You dress nicely.
Mhm.
There's table settings. There's like pretty, pretty dishes that hold the cranberries. And they're just like, it just feels so special, not stuffy, no pun intended, but like, it just felt like, oh, this is so special.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I like that.
We also just like didn't live around family. So unless we
Yeah.
were going to Texas or whatever, it was usually just us. And then, later on we ended up going to like Sholo to see family friends and doing the bigger Thanksgiving gathering there, which was also really cool.
Mhm.
Um but it's just interesting. I think it looks so different for people.
Well, I feel like there might have been a couple of years where we like maybe helped out like at a food pantry or a
Yeah,
soup
I do
kitchen or
remember that.
something. There's something like, or even I know when I lived in DC, we would prepare like boxes of like food for people who
Mm.
needed that. And that is always kind of like a nice, like feel good thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can remember a few years ago, it was pre-kids. The church that we were going to here, we decided to sign up to deliver meals to people, and we got,
Mhm.
I don't know, a dozen. And you just drop them at their doorstep, and those are always fun things.
Which was interesting because the church in DC, like later on, there was quite a large Hispanic population by our church. But so instead of like flour, they would put in maize, like which is like a corn meal, because I think they make like tamales and stuff. So there are different traditions. Like some people probably grew up eating tamales or something, and so I thought that was kind of interesting too, because they would
Yum.
request
That does sound good.
either flour or ice. So something cool about Thanksgiving is that this holiday always seems to be much more like generous, and there's kindness, and I don't know, just like this different sense than like Christmas, which can be really greedy and all about presents. And
Mm.
I don't know, I think Thanksgiving just has like a different vibe than
Mm-hmm.
Christmas sometimes. But
Yeah.
For sure.
And just the idea of like sharing a meal with people,
Mhm.
you know.
We just had some friends over for dinner the other night, and we were asking them what they do for Thanksgiving, and they actually do king crab legs.
for
Oh, wow.
Thanksgiving,
They don't do a turkey meal. They do that. I was like, okay.
remember when we did that after you became lactose intolerant? We
Yeah.
had like a crab meal because we used to eat this horrible dish. We'll probably talk about it more when Christmas comes around, but I still remember the pictures of us with like crab claws.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite Thanksgiving? I think if there's like a favorite. I know you said yours was like in Indonesia.
Yeah, for sure. Probably the first one because it was the most authentic. And then we would try and recreate it every year, but there was nothing quite as awesome as that very first Ocean Queen Thanksgiving.
I think growing up when we would go to our friends
So
in Sholo, but yeah, we would go there and big long tables,
Mhm.
really good food. That to me, that felt like Thanksgiving should feel like.
right.
You know, you're sitting down and talking with each other, everyone's pitching in the kitchen, and then you all sit down, and then yeah, I think that in my head and in my heart, that's like what Thanksgiving feels like. So those are
Yeah.
probably my favorite
Mm-hmm.
I
my
agree.
favorite
Those were good
memories.
ones.
Yeah. When you talk about that, like I can almost like smell her kitchen, and I
Totally.
can see her kitchen, or like her old kitchen. They've since moved, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then you like after you eat, you just anticipate the coffee brewing and pie getting cut, and I just yeah, that just sets in tradition, and
Mhm.
I just love that. And I think those were some of the last times that we were all together, which also maybe is
That's true. I mean, I can't tell you the last time. Well, maybe it was what, 7 years ago, almost 8, when we were in Grand Junction the week before Thanksgiving.
Was I there?
Yeah, you and Kevin, the photos that we
Oh,
took.
yes, yes, yes.
Photos.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure it was actually during Thanksgiving. I think it was the week before.
Mhm.
Oh, but we probably did a
Maybe.
Thanksgiving meal. Yeah. You know, I think about how much of a privilege it was to grow up with a mom who really knew how to cook. Like that is something I really admire about mom. Like she knows her way around a kitchen. She's really good at teaching too. Like even today of just like her knowledge of baking. And I just feel like that is something like maybe not everybody like gets the privilege of like growing up with something like that. And so yeah, I'm super thankful to like have some knowledge in the kitchen and growing up with like really delicious food, you know, thankful for it. I can't really think of a Thanksgiving that like was super memorable. I'm sure there's probably one where like Kevin had returned from a deployment or something that I just like can't remember, but I don't know.
There was one year here we had just moved here, and we were invited to this basically communal Thanksgiving. These wonderful people that we just adore, they always open up their home on Thanksgiving, and they gladly open their home to us. And it was just the best. The best. Good food, good people. And it was Alex and I, it was just us and then them. And I think one year actually dad came with us too.
Like a good old Friendsgiving, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
No, it's really nice to have family here to celebrate and spend time together for like an extended period of time. And it is really fun to like cook with you all. And
Yeah.
so looking forward to memories and taking all the pictures. And I think we might try to do like a family turkey trot kind of a thing.
Cool. Well, it's kind of fun too. You guys get to do like all adulting things,
Mhm.
you know, we're like, if my family's with you, we have all the children in tow. And so it's kind of fun that you guys just get to do adulting stuff on your clock, on your time. That's kind of fun.
Yep, I have a whole itinerary on a whiteboard ready to go. So we've
She
got
does.
plans.
I'm sure you do.
But they're flexible and, but it's nice to have a plan because then I feel like I'm somewhat prepared for
Oh, I love it. I love it.
whatever.
You're a great tour guide.
We'll see. Yeah, so it'll be fun. Well, we wish you were here, Abby.
Yeah.
It's
I
not the same
know.
without you and the rest of your crew, but in the very near future, I'm sure we will all be together for many a holiday.
Hopefully.
Yeah, if you add in my crew, it adds a lot. So
I know. But like that to me is like, the hallmark picture of what
uh-huh.
you want though. Like you want a house full of people and memories and kids and noise and
Mhm.
I don't know, because we never really grew up with family close by and I don't know what that's like to have like a house full of people. So
Well, should we end by saying what we're grateful for?
I love that. That's a good idea.
One of the Thanksgivings in Indonesia, someone had brought this tradition with them where like we had shelled peanuts, like peanuts in the shell, and they were like spread across the table and everyone went around and shared what they were thankful for, and then after they shared it, everyone would just like throw their peanut shells at the person. It was really random and really funny, but yeah, I always remember that tradition. So
Right.
anyways,
No peanut shells here.
we had no peanut shells, but on that note, maybe we share what we're grateful for. I think, for me, I feel like I say this answer a lot, but I'm so grateful to live in Colorado, and to live close to family, just to get to like see the kids every day and be so close and have such easy access to them is so fun, and it just like makes everything worth it for me. And then it makes it that much easier to say yes to like coming on this trip and coming to do Thanksgiving with you versus when I was living by myself in the Northwest. It was always hard to know, like, what am I going to do for Thanksgiving? It was always hard to travel. And like when you don't have family around, there's nothing quite as lonely as that. So I'm just grateful to living in Colorado.
I guess on that note, like I am super thankful that you all are here. Like, we don't move like that often with the military, but sometimes it's just hard to get out to like wherever we are, and we're not going to be here like that long. So it's fun to like have you all come and to be able to spend like a holiday together, I think is really special. And yeah, so I'm just like super thankful for time with family, and I had a good doctor's appointment last week, which is always kind of like an encouraging thing of like, okay, things are good. So there's just like lots of things to be thankful for, health and family. And yeah, just looking forward to what the Lord has for us in the near future.
I think sometimes like holidays just remind me that I'm living the life that I always dreamed that I would. And I think seeing my 3 precious kids and my wonderful husband, it just reminds me of how lucky I am. So I think, yeah, and I'm just really grateful to have 3 kids that are healthy and yeah, just a partner that loves me for me. I just feel like the Lord's love abounds and I just feel it so much around the holidays. So
That's really special. Thankful for you all too. Like it's super fun and super special to have like such sweet relationships, that I'm super thankful for.
I know, I feel like it's such a hard question because I'm like, well, there's categories of thankfulness. There's like, I don't know how to just say one thing, that just feels, yeah, so hard.
Well, and I had meant to do some sort of like, even just like this week of like each day, like share something I'm grateful for. Cause I think often we can get caught up in the things that like are stressful in life or that are weighing us down. And so sometimes like when you kind of shift that perspective, and even if it's something so simple, like, man, I'm so thankful for this cup of coffee or a quiet moment to myself or a husband who loves me, like when we shift our focus on the things we're thankful for, a roof over our head, whatever, it just changes things. And so I was like kind of wanting to be more intentional this week, and that left. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But anyways, I think it's okay, even if it is the simple things.
It's good.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for joining us for A Word with the Girls. This one was quite hilarious and a little unhinged, but we thank you for joining us on this journey and this podcast where one word sparks conversation. And we really believe in the power of stories. And so it's your turn to take our word today to your people. Thanksgiving, share memories, share your favorite foods. And hopefully even some of the words that we've shared in past episodes will help spark conversation at the table with those that you love during this Thanksgiving season. So make sure you go follow us on Instagram and YouTube and share this with a friend. And we'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good. Love you.
Love you more. Bye.
Bye.
Don't
Oh,
clip
my
that.
internet.
Oh, crap.
Internet sucks so bad. All right, you're back. Just stay like this the whole time, just in case you freeze.
Oh, man.
How are you gonna start?
Oh my gosh. She can't do it.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear us? I don't think she can. This is not going well. This is going to be
You're
hard
back.
to edit.
Are you back?
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
This is not going to work.
The unfortunate thing is we don't have her side, so she should be recording this on her end because she gets beatboxing or something.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, and then when it catches up, Emily, you just talked like a million minutes a second. It was so funny.
Yeah, it varied a lot.
Are you okay?
It always takes. Oh my gosh. This episode
This is bad.
This is so unhinged.
Make sure to subscribe so that you can follow along each week as A Word with the Girls drops new episodes every Wednesday.